Zion Williamson, now that I have your attention,
Yes.
we are here to fill out a bracket, Tate. This is something that Americans do. It is time for the NCAA tournament.
March Mayhem is what we're calling
We
it.
have a 68-team field. It is our job as college basketball experts to whittle this field down to one national champion. There can only be one. There are multiple tournaments going on. We have the NIT, we have the CBI, we have the CIT. We are going to create our own tournament called the FBI. But the NCAA tournament is the one. That is the national champion, and that is what we are all trying to. Did I set this up well enough? Am I explaining the premise to people? Well
Yes,
enough?
people are like, yes, we understand. There's a bracket. There will be games that will be played. Yes, it is called the NCAA Tournament, and welcome to 2019 America. We are happy to be here. We wanted producer Kyle to be here. He is nowhere to be found at this point, but if he does wander in at some point.
St. Patrick's Day claimed another victim.
Yes.
Is what happened. Pour one out for Kyle. So how do we want to go about doing this? Do we want to just put Duke as the national champion and work backwards? Do we want to pretend like any other games matter? What are you thinking?
Definitely not Duke national champion. So let's work from left to right. So we're going to do left side, strong side, in the same vein as Remember the Titans. Something that we saw yesterday with Michigan State when they won.
We did. There was a
very Remember the Titans moment.
Yeah.
Everybody was very excited about it all, and it was like really sweet.
Yeah.
There were tears shed. It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah,
So,
Arns is on the ground like he's Gary in the hospital bed, and everyone's coming up.
Nick
and,
Ward became Julius all of a sudden. It was great.
Did you see? By the way, they said that he got an X-ray and his ankle wasn't fractured. I'm not even kidding. Like, what the hell happened? The thing was like I don't know. That's wild.
Strong bones. Drank a lot of milk.
Release the medical reports, Tom. That's all I'm saying. Is like it's very bizarre what's going on in Michigan State. This man's like ankle just exploded, and then they're like, actually he didn't break it. So I don't know what's going on. But all right, let's fill out the bracket. We are going to start in the top left with the #1 overall seed in the tournament, the only team in the country that has Zion Williamson on their team. Ipso facto, the only team that matters. The Duke Blue Devils. First of all, let's pick the
because we have the play-in games that really matter.
Right.
So this is the first four. This is some say better than the Final Four, depending on if you live in the Dayton area. But NC Central playing North Dakota State.
How about this?
Yeah.
Do you think the first four? Let's take about 10 to 15 minutes and have a discussion on this. Do you think the first four? I'm joking, by the way. Calm down. The producers like back there like losing their minds.
Please get away.
Do you think where do you fall on the thing about the first four games? Like, because there seems to be a movement, a push of make all the first four games be the final teams in. Like, if you win your conference tournament, if you're NC Central or North Dakota State and you win your conference tournament, you should be automatically in the field. And we need to make all of the first four games just be the 11 seeds that barely scraped by and made it in.
The Arizona States, the St. John's, the NC States.
So like basically this year, like Ohio
that,
State would have been playing in a playing game. St. Mary's. Well, no, St. Mary's won their conference tournament. You know what I mean? Like all the teams that just made it in at the death, they would then have to play in the first four, and then we don't have these bullshit 16 playing games.
And then we don't get the Belmont, the Temples. Yeah, I mean, sure. Why not? I mean, award the people that win their conference tournaments. We get 32 automatic qualifiers. NC Central, the Eagles, would be a team that can do that. Lavelle Moton, the coach for NC Central, came out. He said his son was a little bit scared of Zion to play Zion because he adores Zion. Obviously, this is the battle for Durham, North Carolina. This is going to be two local teams battling it out. The Eagles, I'm going to pick them over North Dakota State because then we get Zion versus NC Central.
I feel very strongly about that pick. NC Central is going to win.
Congratulations, Eagles.
As someone who followed both those teams all season, NC Central strikes me as the better team. So then from there, I think Duke's going to beat NC Central. That's not, you can't take that for granted anymore. Virginia did lose, but
Coach Moton did say he was not afraid of anyone but God, so he's not afraid of a man like Zion. So maybe.
Is he afraid of a Jeep moving 10 miles an hour? That's the question.
We all are.
Yeah.
Especially if it's called Zion.
All right, so who is Duke going to play in the second round? Either matchup is intriguing. VCU beat Duke in the NCAA tournament.
2008 or 2007, Eric Maynor. We all remember that.
And then UCF is coached by Johnny Dawkins, who was kind
Duke
of
defector.
The original Duke legend.
Yes.
Kind of like the first guy that really mattered that played under Coach K.
Are you forgetting Jay Billis?
That's true.
Same class.
So either way, no matter what happens in that game, Duke is going to have an interesting little thing.
There's a little bit of history there, which is nice for a second-round game.
But what are we thinking?
I think that UCF is a team that's been maybe peaking too much, but you want the Taco Fall Zion Williamson. You want a man that's 7'6" to get done.
Here's where I stand. VCU is a better team. VCU has been a better team all season. VCU is probably going to win this game, but I'm trying to speak the Taco Fall Zion Williamson matchup into existence. That's really it. So I want to pick UCF.
Okay.
Just because of that.
For the sheer fact of Zion dunking.
But I'm hedging by saying,
man.
I'm making it clear that I think VCU is going to win.
Will you be mad at me when I bring up that Tyler Hansbrough dunked on a 7'7" man, Kenny George?
He traveled.
No.
He
He
very
dunked on a
clearly traveled. Check the
7'7" man.
tapes. Release the tapes. He traveled. He took 4 steps and like wound himself up.
All
and
right.
then
well, that's called
it.
NBA basketball, Titus. Catch up.
Meanwhile,
right.
like Kenny George wasn't even like he was like, okay, cool, like whatever. Like the guy didn't even want to play basketball. He was just big. He was out there. It wasn't.
UNC Asheville fans are very upset about this right now. Can we get to the next game? This is a game that we're just going to point out. Ben Howland, congratulations.
Yeah. Which team is he, coach?
Oh, yeah, exactly. But we just had to point that out. He's still in the tournament. Mississippi State, great 5 seed.
Liberty put out the video of them doing. They were singing "One Shining Moment" as a team. This was a little moment that happened yesterday. I don't know if it went viral in the college basketball world. So like, really not viral
Reddit,
whatsoever.
yes.
Yeah. So Liberty's got a little mojo there. It is a 5-12 game. 5-12 games have fallen out of favor, and people are all in on the 6-11 games. I think now.
Contrarians.
But I have made it clear since I saw the bracket for the last 24 hours that I am down to pick like basically every upset except for the 1s and the 2s.
Yes.
Because I think the top 8 teams in this field are so much better than the rest of the field, and then the rest of the field is just like a whole mismatch of.
And the top
really
8 teams,
cares?
basically, they've been beating up on each other. So that's why there's so many variations of so-and-so beat so-and-so, but then so-and-so beat so-and-so.
So with that, I'm totally fine with picking Liberty if you want to. Mississippi State does not move the needle for me whatsoever. But it's your call. I will defer to you.
Let's go Flames. So we'll take Liberty.
There we go.
That was for you,
Liberty.
Patrick Henry.
All right,
Next.
Virginia Tech, St. Louis. Virginia Tech is actually a team I do feel strongly about. I really like Virginia Tech. Justin Robinson's back. They beat Duke without Justin Robinson. No, people forget that. They just want to talk about Duke not having Zion. But
They beat a lot of teams without Justin Robinson. They
Right.
were able to find a way. Coach Buzz Williams finished second in ACC voting for Coach of the Year. A lot of people sort of believe in what, and they've had the losses in the tournament. Remember last year, Buzz Williams in the locker room was like, "We're going to learn from this. We're going to be better
they have
for this."
lost in the tournament. Yeah.
So they have. They've learned some lessons, folks. So that's good news. And Buzz Williams, he's got the hair back. He's got a lot of confidence, a lot of cachet. I'm going to take.
Are you saying so? You're saying that like losing a lot in the tournament.
Well, build your character. Like Villanova, they lost a lot over the years, and then they just sort of kind of
That's
built
what
it up.
Virginia was
Yes.
doing last year.
Yes.
They're just trying to build it up, learn lessons. You got to make sure you have all the lessons you need to learn, and then you're ready.
It's like when you don't use like Germex, your immune system's got to build up. You got to go out in the wilderness,
So
what I mean?
Virginia is now immune to 16 seeds. They're going to wipe the floor with you.
Well, not so
We'll
fast.
get there in a second.
Yeah.
So who do we pick? We pick Virginia Tech?
Of course.
I like Virginia Tech in that one as well. All right, the Belmont-Temple playing game. We were talking about this before we went on the air. We love Belmont because everybody loves Belmont, and we're just kind of pandering to our crowd.
The Bruins.
They shoot a ton of threes. They have a really, really good offense. They're an at-large team. That's the other thing. They lost to Murray State in the OVC title game. Still got a bid. They were thrilled about that. I like Belmont a lot. In fact, I think I'm going to like Belmont a lot throughout the day.
So let's just go ahead and take
Let's put Belmont as the winner there, and then let's put Belmont over Maryland because we all know Mark Turgeon is probably going to win that game and save his job. Like, not for he's already saved his job this year. I'm saying, like, he wins that game, he buys himself 2 more years, and he's always buying himself 2 more years. That's probably what's going to end up happening. But I think Belmont's a better team, and I would expect Belmont to
He's
win
2 years away from being fired, is what
yeah,
you're saying
Maryland,
at all times.
Maryland's too young. Belmont's fun. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just that's it. So.
And Belmont's a hot team, and they also losing that game. Sometimes it's better to lose a conference tournament game and then have a little bit of manufactured diversity as we head in.
All right, moving on. LSU, Yale.
The Will Wade saga continues. Will Wade really wants to coach, but he doesn't want to talk to the university or the NCAA or the FBI in the interim, which is great. So I think we should just take Yale over principal because they're a school of higher education,
I'm taking the
of
team
higher learning, and
I'm taking the team that has a coach.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so Yale,
which is Yale. Yeah. All right. So now we have the Patino Bowl. We have Louisville and Minnesota. Will Rick be at the game is the question.
Yes.
We reached out to John Gonzalez, Rick Pitino's best friend, and he offered us no comment. So I don't really know what to make of that.
No comment on the record.
Yeah,
Yes.
on the record, off the record.
We know how that works.
We know what's going to end up happening here. But Louisville, Minnesota, what's going on? Louisville gives up the 23-point comeback to Duke.
Yes.
Kind of ruined their season. I
Yes.
think they then the next game they beat Clemson by 1 in a game they almost choked away as well. They were trying their hardest to choke that away. And since then, the only team that they've beaten for the rest of the year was Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame in the regular season. They beat them in the ACC tournament, and then they lost. And that has been basically what I'm saying is Duke completely ruined Louisville. They just ruined their psyche. The whole season was decimated. Now the flip side, Minnesota is who they're playing, and I'm not really excited about Minnesota. So what do you think? This is Big Ten, ACC.
This is the showdown. So the Big Ten gets the most teams in the tournament. They get 8 teams. The ACC, even though they have the top 3 1 seeds, only get 7 teams because, again, as we know, the depth of the Big Ten really matters in these moments. I think Louisville's a team, like you said, they've had some problems as far as adjusting to the fact that, hey, we got on this real big high. They beat Carolina, blow them out at home.
Right.
They get to the top, and then they've sort of been trending down, which going into the tournament, you don't want to take teams that, quote-unquote, aren't hot. But Louisville's a better team than Minnesota, right?
Minnesota, Louisville has all season been a better team than Minnesota. Minnesota's probably playing better right now. So, yeah, I agree. Let's pick Minnesota.
Wow, shocking.
Let's pick the Big Ten.
That was the most Big Ten pick of all time.
Let's pick the Big Ten.
Oh
I agree.
My God. Can't wait for that Louisville blowout, folks.
Michigan State, Bradley. Michigan State is. I dug this up. Michigan State is the only. Hold on, I gotta.
Michigan State's in the Big Ten, so Michigan State.
It's the only 2 teams in the that got top 5 seeds. Is this correct?
Please.
Yes, the only 2 teams in the top 5 seeds that won their regular season conference and their conference tournament are Duke and Michigan State. Every other team that's a top 5 seed did not pull off the double. Those are the only 2 teams. Michigan State.
Which goes back to, like, what is the committee actually basing it on? Because we do the whole, the net rankings, we found out they don't matter.
They don't matter.
Just throw those out. Because NC State's very upset. Had the AD write a whole letter, citing the fact that they were snubbed. They were number 32 in the net. No one cared. Michigan State, they do this. And then they also put the most Big Ten teams in. So you would think that they respect the Big Ten, so they would give them a 1 seed. But obviously.
They do not. So we're going to put Michigan State through. That's bad for Bradley's brand. You saw that story, right?
Yes.
The Bradley was, Sorry, Bradley's brand. All right, moving on to the West Regional. We're going to do round by round. That's how we fill out brackets. So Gonzaga, they're playing the playing game. We have Prairie View A&M versus Fairleigh Dickinson. Your thoughts, Tate, as someone who followed these teams closely all season. This to me, this is a classic either-or game. I could see I'm looking at this game, I could see Fairleigh Dickinson winning. But then here's the weird part: I could see Prairie View A&M winning as well. So it's like I don't know what to do here. This one's tough.
I think I'm going to take Prairie View.
What does KenPom say?
To their conference.
Do we want to use the KenPom thing?
At the end of the day, we have a tiebreaker system here. It's called KenPom, and you have to subscribe to it. But luckily,
KenPom is the only.
We've got other people's logins.
All right, Fairleigh Dickinson is not good according to KenPom. North Dakota State's not good. Iona's not good. Who are they playing?
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Prairie View A&M is so much. Wait, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
I'm going to go and say Prairie View.
KenPom is awesome.
Prairie View is the team.
Oh my God, they're right next to each other.
208 versus 209.
Fairleigh Dickinson's better, so we're doing reverse that. We're doing Fairleigh Dickinson. KenPom knows all. We're going with him. All right, so Gonzaga's going to win. Obviously, they're gonna move on. We have Syracuse versus Baylor. Baylor is having a much better season than they probably should have had, just in the sense that
But what happens when Scott Drew overachieves? Bad things.
Yeah.
So maybe this is one of those times where he's happy to be in the tournament. And now we got Syracuse, a team that has won some big games in the ACC, has Tyus Battle, has this guy
has the 2-3 zone. Let's talk about the 2-3 zone. I mean, wow. No,
people are going to be stunned that they run that.
The zone is like I've made this analogy. It's one of the smarter things I've ever come up with, Tate, if I can pat myself on the back. It is the 2-3 zone's the knuckleball. It's
Tim Wakefield.
That thing gets moving. It's unhittable. You have no idea what's going to happen. Syracuse might lose to Baylor by 50, or the zone might be just moving all over, unhittable, and they go to the Final Four. That's why Boeheim runs the 2-3. The last 2 times Syracuse has been in the NCAA tournament, they've made the Sweet 16 with double-digit seeds. So this is a familiar position for them to have to beat Gonzaga in the second round, to be in this lower-seeded thing. I like Syracuse in this one.
I do too. Take the Qs. Take the orange.
All right, now this is the matchup that the individual matchup in the first round, everyone's talking about, everyone's excited about. We have Marcus Howard, we have John Morant. How do you see this shaking out?
This is the Kimba candidate bowl. This is the two guys that can really take over and score a lot of points, and everyone's excited to watch these two guys. Unfortunately, they'll be out of the tournament, pretty soon. I think Ja Morant is a guy that I really believe in. Ja Morant, I want him to do well, but Marquette is just a better basketball team. And
This
is the trap 5-12 because in your mind you're going to say, okay, best player on the floor, Ja Morant. I'm going to take him.
This is a game where Ja Morant does score 45 points and get 19 assists and 12 rebounds, and you're like, holy shit, and they still lose by 12.
Yeah, Marquette shoots like 45% from three, and then
that is one of those games. I agree. We're putting Marquette through. All right, Florida State, Vermont. Florida State is probably the team that got snubbed in terms of seeding. Like as I look at how all the seeds shook out over the entire
How
bracket,
is Houston a 3 seed over Florida State?
Like the only gripe that really jumped out to me was Florida State being a 4 and Houston being a 3. Florida State should probably be the 3. It's kind of irrelevant at the end of the day, but I just wanted to bring that up on Florida State. That you and I are both very fond of this Florida State team. Mm-hmm. They went to the Elite Eight last year, brought back a lot of guys,
including Leonard Hamilton, their coach, which
Chris
could hinder them. Kumaji, Kabengele, who's 6th man of the year in the ACC, comes off the bench, probably their best player. But the Catamounts of Vermont, they're a team that is like
fighting Ryan Russillos.
I think the 4-13 games are like even St. Louis up here. I know we just passed Virginia Tech on. I could see them having some troubles in that game. Sort of like who did Louisville lose to when they were the 4th? I can't remember. Anyways, I'm going to take Florida State here because.
Yeah, we're going to take Florida State.
Yeah,
no disrespect to Vermont. We should have prefaced at the top, if we pick against your team, we also want to make it clear you guys had a great season, and we're very proud of you.
And if you make shots, you might have a chance to win. That's the best part about it. You
can
also
this is the play-in game that is probably the most entertaining from a storyline perspective with
Hurley versus Mullen.
Yeah, Hurley versus Mullen. I don't care. I just don't care. I mean, I care about the coaches.
We care as much as Chris Mullen cares, which is like, I got to show up and coach this game.
St. John's was all over the map this year. They had good wins. They had really bad losses. It's impossible to know what teams get. We like Shamari Pons. We like Lugens-Dort on Arizona State. It'll probably be a good game. It'll be an interesting game. But I think Buffalo is beating either one of those teams.
Exactly.
So, who do you want to pick in the play-in game?
I think in the play-in game, we got to take Bobby Hurley because we know that he is going to throw a jacket. He's going to do whatever. Like he's going to do whatever it takes to win this game.
And
Chris Mullins, we made it.
Play his old team, Buffalo.
Yeah.
We want to see that happening, and we want to see Buffalo. So we're putting Arizona State through, and we want to see Buffalo, Arizona State, and then we're going to make Buffalo win. So Buffalo beats Arizona teams in back-to-back tournaments.
And then a little revisionist history. We're like, should he have left Buffalo? Should
that's a great question. Which is the better job? We have that discussion.
Oh yeah.
For off season because we need stuff to talk about. All right, Texas Tech, Northern Kentucky. Texas Tech is the one team I would say. I guess Florida State to me is definitely the best 4 seed. I think Texas Tech is the best 3 seed. Mm-hmm. Those are of the 3 seeds. Texas Tech is like the only team I trust to, I don't know, make the Final Four. I really do think it's 1s and 2s that are gonna come out of each of these regionals. But Texas Tech is interesting to me because they play great defense and they have Jarrett Culver, who is very, very, very good.
I call them the Virginia of the Big 12 in the sense that defense is going to win them games. So they have a cold night, even a cold night against a team like Northern Kentucky.
Right.
There's a chance, like in the same way Virginia is built, that there's a chance that a team gets a big lead. They're not able to come back because it's a one-man band with Culver. So that's something to keep an eye on. But they play a good enough defense. I think they've been in big situations before. And Chris Beard, we're a big fan. So.
So put Texas Tech through. All right, Nevada, Florida. Nevada's ass. And I think this is the dirty little secret about this bracket. This is the dirty secret about Nevada in general, is that this team is not good. We've been waiting for them to be good all season. They won 29 games.
I'm on the Muss Bus.
I've been off the Muss Bus. They lost by 27 to a 14-18 Mountain West team.
That's regular season basketball.
That's
Titus.
all you need to know. They did not win the Mountain West tournament. They lost to San Diego State, who's not even playing postseason basketball.
It's tournament time.
They come from behind every single game they play. They're down. The only reason they even made the Sweet 16 last year.
It's the Muss routine. We get down to get up.
They were down. They had to take Texas to overtime in the first round. They were down 22 against Cincinnati, and Mick Cronin choked. And that's the only reason That's the only reason anyone even cared about Nevada coming into this season. I am very, very out on Nevada, and I might be doing a reverse jinx because I did want to be on the. I was on the Muss Bus at the start of the season. I was trying to finagle my way and
I've never left.
I was trying to get favor with the guy who I thought was going to be the UCLA coach, and I was trying to work that angle and all that. And I wanted Nevada to be good.
Well, you've done that. Thad Matta, he may be the UCLA
Tony
coach.
Bennett also has not said no yet.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So I want to pick Florida, but if you really are strongly about Nevada, I'm fine with Nevada losing in the second round if you want to pick Nevada.
I think if Florida wins this game, Then we have a little Jordan Classic here with Michigan and Florida. They battle it out.
Put Florida through, dude. Florida's gonna lock Nevada up. They play great defense. Nevada's gonna be down 20, and they're gonna be like, we got this. We're fine. We're used to being down 20, and then they're gonna be down 30.
I can all see Florida get up by 15, and then Nevada comes back, but then Florida hits a shot at the end of the game to win. So something like that. That's a very Florida tournament thing to do. Next game, Michigan, Montana. I think this is pretty.
We like Michigan.
We like the Grizzlies. We respect their season, but Michigan.
All right, moving on. We'll rip through these a little faster, I suppose. Virginia, you think Gardner-Webb is the best 16th seed? They probably are.
By far.
But what does that mean? That's like, what does that get you in life to be the best 16th seed? Last year, it got
sometimes
you a win over
Virginia.
Right?
Sometimes it gets you a win in the next round.
But Nugget, I've been parroting this all March. It's worth bringing up here for the viewers who are just tuning in. No team in NCAA tournament history has ever lost to a 16 seed 2 years in a row. Keep that in mind. Virginia, I like them a lot here. They have history on their side. What could possibly go wrong?
For the record, I picked Gardner-Webb. So when Gardner-Webb wins that game, I want America to celebrate. This is the worst. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to Virginia. Gardner-Webb is a team that sponsored by Under Armour, newly sponsored, which means belief from a brand. A team that has a lot of players that probably could have gone to bigger programs, but didn't quite work out, so now they're at Gardner-Webb. And a lot of guys on a team that know that they can beat D1 top teams and definitely can beat Virginia, who lost last year. So,
Virginia. Virginia is the better team. Virginia's winning. I think Virginia is. We've talked about this on the podcast, but I do want to make the point again that it's every year with Virginia. It's what's the difference between this year's team and last year's team? Why should I trust them? DeAndre Hunter and their offense. Their offense is good. Their offense is versatile. They can score in a bunch of different ways. They're not just trying to run the clock down and throw up a shot with 5 seconds left and hope it goes in. They actually they can rain threes with all those 3-point shooters they have. They have DeAndre Hunter, who's versatile.
I'm just saying they might get hit in the mouth early, so I hope that they can bounce back.
They can, but they'll be fine. Virginia will be fine. I believe strongly in Virginia. I'm riding the Virginia train all the way until they eventually win a national championship, and I'm going to be on the parade float singing God's Plan with Virginia as we're going down the streets of Charlottesville. All right, 8-9 game in this region. Ole Miss, Oklahoma. I look at these teams, and they feel like 8 and 9.
Yeah, they're the perfect 8-9 matchup.
Perfect 8-9 seeds. It's like, yeah, okay, that's really my thought. Like both of them, I just look at them like, I don't know. I don't really care. Oklahoma was kind of on the bubble. The one thing I would say is Oklahoma was on the bubble late. They won some games late in the season. Kind of have they're probably a little hotter than Ole Miss is. But Ole Miss was in the better conference. I think the SEC was a lot better than the Big 12 this year. I don't really care.
Let's take Oklahoma.
Yeah, that game is irrelevant to me. No offense to either one of those teams.
We should point out
we had a great season.
Pace is the discussion in the South. Everyone plays slow, so it's going to be a very boring region. So a lot of these games will be, how much can you stomach to watch and hope your team wins?
Quite possibly the most boring game of all will be Wisconsin versus Oregon. These are two teams. Oregon won the 1939 national championship. Wisconsin won the 1941 national championship. And these are two programs.
Has basketball evolved since then.
These are two programs that are trying to go back to those glory days with the way they play.
Yes.
This will be a very boring, slow basketball game. Brad Davison, Peyton Pritchard.
Yes.
America's going to love that.
Who will take more charges in the game?
They're going to absolutely love that. A lot of defense. Oregon is hot right now.
Yes.
They've won 8 in a row, I believe, if my math is correct. They won the Pac-12 tournament to even get into this thing. Wisconsin's a better team, though.
Yes. I think I'll take Wisconsin.
I think I'm taking Wisconsin, too.
Wisconsin.
I think I'm just going against all the except for Arizona State. We did pick them to win, but otherwise, I'm just going against all the Pac-12 teams. The Pac-12 was awful. All right, Kansas State, UC Irvine. UC Irvine wins 30 games this year, Tate.
30-4.
Yeah, the Anteaters. They're pretty good. Kansas State snapped the streak, though.
Yes, of Kansas. So that is over for the Big 12. We also should point out Dean Wade is the guy that always gets brought up with Kansas State. Last year, everyone's like, what are they going to do without Dean Wade? Well, they made the Elite Eight. Dean Wade is also still, he's
preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, I believe, Dean Wade.
And he's also kind of hurt again, right?
He's always hurt.
Yeah, he's always got something going on. So, I mean, if that's the reason that you don't pick Kansas State, it's the wrong reason because they can win without Dean Wade. He's just like a nice little maybe he'll play.
Yeah.
I like Kansas State. I mean, we've watched a few games. We almost went to a UC Irvine game.
We did. That's our analysis on UC Irvine. We almost went to a game.
We almost did.
We looked at the schedule and we were like, hey.
Hour and a half drive, not for us.
I like Kansas State, too.
Wildcats.
I like the Wildcats. Hey, speaking of Wildcats, Villanova versus St. Mary's. St. Mary's beat Gonzaga They beat Gonzaga to win the WCC. They were probably not making it in if they didn't beat Gonzaga. They did beat Gonzaga, though. Villanova, I'll say this. You want to talk about slow games. Villanova and St. Mary's are very, very, very slow. Villanova's whole thing is play slow, walk the ball up the floor, and then jack a ton of threes when you get there.
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
And play the percentages.
So I think this works in Villanova's favor because St. Mary's thing is also walk the ball up the floor, slow teams down. That's how they beat Gonzaga. They frustrated the shit out of Gonzaga. They're slowing the game down. Gonzaga wants to go. So St. Mary's controls tempo. That's how they beat teams. They're not gonna confuse Villanova. They're gonna slow it down. Villanova's gonna be like, perfect. This is what we do as well.
Yes, I don't want to run. Yeah, Pascal's like, perfect. I'll see you down the other end.
We want the defending national champions through.
There you go.
We have Purdue versus Old Dominion. This is becoming a trendy pick in my circle. I should also preface that I grew up in Indiana, and I have a lot of Indiana basketball friends who want Purdue to lose. But I'm hearing a lot of belief in Old Dominion. As someone who knows more about Old Dominion than I do, your thoughts?
ODU.
Wow.
But you said it. Carson Edwards is going to have to save them in a game. And Old Dominion's a complete team. This is a nice little upset. Because like you said, the line from 2 to 3, such a drop-off. Purdue is a team that has overachieved. Old Dominion's
Purdue has
a team.
overachieved all year. And
Exactly.
Purdue fans know it, and they're scared to admit it. They won the Big Ten.
That's a bad matchup. ODU's a bad matchup.
I'm not saying take the banner down, the Big Ten banner. Congratulations. We're all proud of you. But you know that Purdue is not a good team. They just won games. That's pretty much it. Purdue is not good.
And there's a lot of teams like that this year. So
that was Purdue.
Yeah.
All right, Cincinnati versus Iowa. This is the game I'm most excited about in the first round game in the South Regional. We have Mick Cronin versus Fran McCaffery. The two dare I say alpha males, the two biggest alpha males in college basketball. There's going to be so much testosterone flowing. There's going to be chest bumping, and you want to go.
It's going to be a bro down.
It's going to be. Oh, my God.
Yes. These poor officials, whoever's officiating that game is going to be harassed like none other. They may get choked out by Mick Cronin, but the good news is we're going to get a very entertaining game.
I honestly do not care about the basketball game whatsoever. I need 2 coach cams. I wrote this in the article that I put on theringer.com, which you can check out on theringer.com. I want Ted Valentine ref in this game. You get Ted Valentine, you get Mick Cronin, you get Fran McCaffery.
But we need TV Teddy throwing his fastball, not trying to avoid one of the coaches. We need him on the side of the coaches.
And then you dig up Bob Knight from whatever hole he lives in and let him commentate on this game. And it's just like, and then step back and watch the fireworks explode.
Mick Cronin throws the ball at TV Teddy. Bob Knight's like, I think that was a smart move.
Here's a question about this game, though. Which team's going to score more points in this one?
I'm going to take Iowa because I like Luka Garza.
Yeah, we love Luka.
From the DC area, great guard.
We are a pro Luka podcast. We always have been.
Yeah,
love Luka. Luka is revolutionizing basketball, and that's why we're putting Iowa through. All right, Tennessee versus Colgate. Tennessee won the SEC tournament by beating.
Hate to see it.
But they won the regular season.
Yeah, didn't do it. Rick Barnes in March has always been an interesting conundrum for everyone. They have a great team. We saw them in December. We saw them at their peak.
We did.
They
beat Gonzaga.
We're very worried about this Tennessee team possibly tapering off at the wrong time. But they should beat the Raiders. They should be able to beat Colgate.
They're going to beat
If you
Colgate.
can't beat a toothpaste brand,
We'll
then
revisit
you're going to be real
They're going to be fine.
tough spot.
North Carolina, Iona.
The Gales.
Are you worried?
No, North Carolina.
Utah State, Washington. Which one? I framed it like this on the podcast. I'm going to do the same for the people that don't listen to the podcast. And if you don't,
One Shining
how dare
Podcast.
you.
Myself, Mark Titus.
Which team are you more scared of? Let's put them through because that makes it more interesting between Utah State and Washington.
I'm much more scared of Utah State. More complete team. And again, the Pac-12 was canceled in December.
All right, Auburn, New Mexico State. New Mexico State also won 30 games, I believe, right?
Yes.
It's them and UC Irvine is like the
best teams in college basketball. Yes.
There you go. The 30 game winners of the mid majors. Auburn just won the SEC tournament. Auburn is a high variance team. They shoot a ton of threes. Sometimes they make a ton. Sometimes they do not. This game
That was
is going
the
to
most
come
Joe
down
Lunardi thing I've ever heard.
to who
high variance
makes
team.
shots. Who is going to make the shots, Tate? That's what people want to know. I think Auburn is going to make shots. I think Auburn's going to win.
I think Auburn's hot right now, and I think that despite all we want to do to deny Bruce Pearl from the coverage, all he wants is the coverage. So he deserves it right now. We'll give it to Auburn.
I know.
Give him the coverage. Put on the orange jacket, though. All right, we got Kansas Northeastern. This is a Kansas team that has changed drastically since the first time we saw them at the Champions Classic. They have lost.
I literally said the phrase after the Champions Classic, after Duke wipes the floor with Kentucky, and we were doing the pod, I said the phrase, I think Kansas might be better than Duke, actually.
Mm-hmm. That was because of different Grimes at the time. Yeah. Dotson played a really good game. LeGerald Vick was
this feels like a lifetime
nowhere to be
ago.
found. Yeah, I mean, it was very strange. But I still think Kansas is good enough to beat Northeastern, so we'll take Kansas. That'll be easy. And then we got your guys.
Yeah, I just put Ohio State through. Houston, Georgia State.
Iowa State fans are so upset right now.
We just fly by.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about it.
Iowa State won the Big 12 4 of the last 6 tournaments, so congratulations, Iowa State.
But that's what Iowa State does. Is they win the Big 12. They go nuts. Like, I've been to the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. Iowa State wins the Big 12 because Iowa State loves the Big 12 tournament. I swear to God, I think the one that I went to was Kansas did play Iowa State. There were more Iowa State fans at the Big 12 tournament than Kansas fans, even though it's in Kansas City, because those people go nuts for the Big 12 tournament. And that's I think Iowa State feels like they've already won. They got their trophy. That's the only trophy we ever care about. And the fans, they're all fat and happy. They're not trying to win. Meanwhile, Ohio State, they're hungry. They have something to prove.
Yes, so the hunger of Ohio State moves them on to the next round.
Houston, Georgia State.
Oh, yes.
Man, we have some Indiana connections here. Kelvin Sampson, Ron Hunter, former coaches of Indiana Hoosiers and IUPUI.
And two very big-time coaches for the NCAA tournament. Guys that'll be in the One Shining Moment montage. You know what I mean? Like, Coach Hunter will definitely be there. Remember the RJ moment they had a few years back. And then Kelvin Sampson has done the full 180 of, everyone kind of blackballed him from college basketball, and now he's at Houston. Now he's got the Jordan brand. Now he's got the new facilities. Now he's number 3 seed.
It's funny how
he wins 29 games.
Enough time passes and enough scandals happen when you realize that making 10 more phone calls than you're allowed to make is suddenly not the juicy scandal you thought it was. Once the FBI starts getting involved, phone calls suddenly aren't that big of a deal.
Once you start hearing $100,000 in duffel bags, they're like, I think you just make the phone calls.
Yeah, you're all right, Kelvin. All right, so who do we like in this game? I think Houston, they lost to Cincinnati in the American Championship. They win 31 games this year.
Yeah,
they have a pretty good team, but you look at their schedule. I don't love Houston, I'll be honest. I do like some of the players. I like the season that they've had. Yeah, but I still think Houston's going to win.
I do. I think this first round game, yes. We'll take Houston. All
right, Wofford, Seton Hall. This is a woof.
These are two really hot teams, and we saw it. Wofford's face when they found out they were playing Seton Hall. They were devastated. They went from, yes, let's do a Fletcher McGee time to, oh, wait a second, we got to play the hottest team coming in from the Big East. A team that, they beat Marquette?
They beat Marquette twice down the stretch. They had a shot to beat Villanova in the Big East title game, and if they would have gone down, they would have beat Villanova. They already beat Villanova down the stretch. They would have beat them twice.
And that's how you judge the Big East this year. Pretty much every team in the Big East are like, did they beat Marquette? Did they beat Villanova? So I personally, I want to take Wofford just with my heart, but my head says Seton Hall.
I think we got to put Wofford through because they're America's darling. I think, but I also think that Wofford, the secret has been out on Wofford for too long. I think that they should have lost a game somewhere along the line. They've won like 20 straight. That's the target is kind of on their back. We don't want them as a 7 seed. If the seeds were flipped, Wofford is 1,000,000% winning this game. That's my analysis. But they're not flipped, so I don't know.
Seton Hall as an underdog is nice. So I think I'm going to take Wofford, like you said. Why not? We'll take the Terriers. We don't want to make people mad. And then we got the greatest showdown of the Wildcats that we have in the first round. We got Kentucky Wildcats, Abilene Christian Wildcats. John Calipari just put out today that he is willing to go to Alaska to prove that he can be a man out in the wilderness like Bear Grylls. So that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe he's sidetracked. I don't know who put this in his mind that he needs to prove that he can go out in the wilderness, but he may go out in the wilderness. So something to watch if Abilene Christian can put it together and maybe put some Bears in the building. I don't know.
On the eve of the NCAA tournament, everyone was wondering, would John Calipari drink his own piss to survive in the wilderness?
And he said absolutely yes.
America.
Yes. He's also very upset that Karl Towns did not send him a signed jersey that he could have behind him when he talked yesterday.
We're putting Kentucky through. Kentucky's going to win. All right, so this is the first round. We just eliminated over half the field. That's how that works. You ready to go through?
Yes.
Start back up with Duke.
Let's do it.
Duke UCF, Johnny Dawkins versus his
knows the
alma mater.
formula, knows the secret.
He knows, yes.
Got his son on the team, so that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, Duke, right?
Duke is the best team in this field. They're going to win.
This is the Curry Bowl. So we got Del Curry went to Virginia Tech. We got Seth Curry went to Liberty before he transferred.
And then
to
Duke.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a nice little Curry train up to the top. I like the Flames and I like the way they play, and I could see them having a little bit of an edge on Virginia, two Virginia teams. So maybe.
Do you want to do it? Listen, if you're picking against ACC teams, I'm behind it, always.
I like the devastating upset in the second round, but I don't think it's going to happen to this Virginia Tech team. So I want to do it, but I can't.
You want to do a devastating upset,
I want to
not
do
this one.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, we'll put Virginia Tech through.
Yes.
Belmont Yale. This will be a fun game. This will be a fun. I said earlier when we were talking about Belmont that I really like Belmont. It's basically like Belmont and Wofford are the two teams that everyone's excited about.
Exactly.
That are kind of under the radar, not the Blue Bloods or whatever. I like Belmont a lot. I think Belmont is in a really good position to go far in this tournament. So I want to pick Belmont.
Belmont. Let's do it.
Right.
Yep.
All right, Minnesota, Michigan State. We have a Big Ten game already. This is the committee once again stacking it against the Big Ten, so that we're not going to be able to get all of our teams all the way to the Elite Eight because.
So you're saying because Minnesota knows Michigan State so well, they have a chance for the.
No, what I'm saying is if you would have bracketed it right, the entire Elite Eight could have been Big Ten teams.
Okay.
But the committee, they're haters and they couldn't take that, so they made a Big Ten matchup happen in the second round. Michigan State was the best team in the Big Ten. They proved it all year, except when they played Indiana twice. I think Michigan State beat Minnesota pretty easily when they played.
Sparty on.
Gonzaga Syracuse. This is, to me, Syracuse is the one team in the West
that can beat Gonzaga.
That's
why this is the toughest draw in the entire. Everyone is talking about the different regions, how hard. I mean, North Carolina has to play Kansas, then Kentucky, and then would have to play possibly Virginia. That's a tough draw. Duke having to play a Virginia Tech team that just beat him not too long ago. It's a tough draw. But for Gonzaga to play Syracuse in the second round and in a 1-8 game. I think that's the
brutal.
most unfortunate thing that could possibly happen. It's sort of like when Villanova lost in the second round. They lost to Wisconsin. It's like we're playing Nigel Hayes and these guys who have been in these moments, and then we lose even though we could have made a run to the title. I think that is very possible with this Gonzaga team. And
I think Gonzaga still wins close, though. But, yeah, this is the one game that worries me the most. I'm not ready to do it.
I'm not ready to do it.
I'm not ready to bust the bracket open yet.
Let's take the Zags.
All right, Marquette, Florida State. Florida State, excuse me. We were saying it earlier. We really like them. I think they are a very, very good team. I think they're better than Marquette. Marquette's been a little too up and down. They're not quite the team they were last year, Marquette, where they just rained a bunch of threes and didn't play defense, and you had no idea what the hell was going to happen. They're more sound. They're more reliable on the defensive end. They're not as up and down with all that kind of stuff. But I still think Florida State's a problem. I think Florida State's playing well. I think Florida State was there last year, and they have some experience.
They will overwhelm Marquette with the athleticism.
Athleticism
Kumaji, Kabengele, all those guys at the bottom. I mean, that is why Florida State moves on. We like that. Buffalo, Texas Tech.
This is going to be a great game.
Yeah, this is
going to be a very, very good game. So Buffalo, we have C.J. Massenberg, we have Jarrett Culver. It's basically like which one of these guys. This is the whole West Regional is just Kimba candidate matchups. That's really it.
Pretty much.
We have Ja Morant, Marcus Howard. Now we have Massenberg versus Culver. I'm cool with Buffalo if you are.
I'm cool with Buffalo. I think that Texas Tech, as much as I've enjoyed their season, I think that they had a great regular season. They were up in the top 10 pretty much all year. But I don't know. Buffalo just seems like a more complete team at this point. Texas Tech needs a lot of things to go their way to win a bunch of games, and I think Buffalo right now is a better team. So now we got the Jordan matchup. We got Florida going against Michigan. We got Mike White going against our boy, Mr. March still?
Two coaches.
Mr. March.
Yeah. No, Tom Izzo's Mr. March. Come on. Respect the results.
All right. We're on Final Fours. I don't know.
These are two coaches. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mike White also does not wear a jacket on the sideline.
No. He does not.
Yeah, so keep an eye on that.
And not even to throw the jacket.
Yeah,
because a lot of guys, they don't want to wear the jacket, but you got to throw it first.
Beeline is the one guy who rolls up his sleeves. Like, he rolls those things up immediately. That's an interesting move.
Yeah.
That kind of makes him unique in that regard. So that is what I'm going to be keeping an eye on in this game. No, Michigan is not quite, like, they started out hot. They haven't, in December we thought they were one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the country. They're not quite at that level, but they're still very clearly,
they're very clearly better than Florida.
Yeah, they're better than Florida.
Yes.
They belong in this group of 8 that we're talking about, of the top 8 seeds that are better than everyone else. So I think Michigan makes it through.
Brazdeikis can do it.
All right, Virginia, Oklahoma. I will say it again. I think Virginia is winning the national title. So I'm putting Virginia through over Oklahoma.
Same.
That's it.
Agreed.
It's as simple as that.
If they can get past Gardner-Webb, Virginia has.
I'm going down with the ship. I will continue to say it because someday it's going to happen, and I'm going to look like a genius. All right, Wisconsin, Kansas State. Woof.
I I think this is one of those
really
games.
It's like the slowest region.
I do think
Like, oh my
if you're
God.
Virginia, you're just praying that Wisconsin wins this game. I think Kansas State is a much tougher team for them to go up against. I think that they're just a better version of a Wisconsin. So for the sake of your Virginia going all the way, I want to pick Wisconsin.
Same. So let's put Wisconsin through. But to expand on that point, that we were kind of saying the same when I was talking about Villanova St. Mary's and how St. Mary's playing slow isn't going to throw Villanova off.
No.
I think the same thing is true of the entire region with Virginia. Where like every team that Virginia plays, basically, when the games start to matter, whether it's Wisconsin or Kansas State, or if they get to Villanova in the Elite Eight, whatever it is, like they're going to be playing teams that want to play slow, and they're going to be licking their lips saying, "This is perfect. This is what we do. We do this better than you."
The committee definitely set them up well, and they put them in a region that fits the way that they play, which is nice because I think at the end of the day, we talked about this, the brand of Virginia basketball being a nice little, not a Kentucky, not a Carolina, not a Duke. It's a nice thing to have in the game. So they set it all up, minus the 16 game. Because again, Gardner-Webb, really good team. I really think that was screwed up.
All right, vanilla.
Very vanilla offense for Villanova, that's for sure.
Villanova, the defending national champions. Are we getting a return of second weekend in the CBS studio, Jay Wright? After winning 2 national titles in 3 years, is Jay Wright back to doing TV work with CBS in the Sweet 16, or is the Villanova continuing?
I'm worried about what you were saying. So when they won the Big East, they were like, "Oh, I thought this was a down year." They did the whole full-on celebration.
I think they're feeling themselves.
Yeah, I think that they're like, we're the Big East champions. Like,
We're
you
the
guys
defending
thought that we
national
weren't
champs.
Villanova. We just did this. We're back. We're doing what we're doing. And ODU is the classic team to upset a team like Villanova, and they will be chanting and going crazy. ODU fans travel well. I'm going to take Old Dominion, but I can be talking to Villanova.
All right, so I literally know not a single damn thing about Old Dominion. I full disclosure, did not watch a second of Old Dominion basketball this year. So
take them.
But, however,
make the pick.
However, I'm willing to bust this bracket open.
Yeah.
So I will allow you, if you're confident, let's put Old Dominion through. Iowa, Tennessee would have been a hell of a football game like 30 years ago. All right, Tennessee. Tennessee is the big question mark for us both. We've gone back and forth. We've fallen in love with them. We've fallen out of love with them. Then they beat Kentucky in the SEC. I keep saying championship because I'm committed to the bit. They beat Kentucky in the SEC tournament semifinals.
Yep.
We're back in love with them. Then they look like ass against Auburn and almost forget that they had to play another game. They're all over the place. I think for me, that's what this game comes down to. Iowa has had their moments. They were also good in December. They've also beat some pretty good teams this year. But this game is basically like which version of Tennessee shows up. Is it the version that has the chip on their shoulder of these guys that were not heralded recruits and came together as a team and played hard-nosed defense and all that kind of stuff?
They start saying, Iowa, I'm a 3-star. They're like, yeah, dude, so was I.
Or is it the Tennessee team that kind of started feeling themselves once they got ranked number 1 in the country and then...
I think it's going to be the real Tennessee team.
All right,
Let's go
put them
Tennessee.
through.
Yes.
All right, North Carolina, Utah State.
This is
yours.
This is a really tough game. I think North Carolina, they're going to have some real problems with Utah State. I'm actually hoping Washington wins that game, but you made me pick this Utah State team. This is the classic, like Carolina in 2006, they lose to George Mason. Last year, they lose to Texas A&M because they get killed on the inside in a second-round game. So I could definitely see that being a problem for North Carolina, but I don't think Utah State is good enough like a Texas A&M with Robert Williams and Tyler Davis like last year. So I'll take North Carolina to move on.
All right, let's do North Carolina. Auburn, Kansas.
This is a game where, you talk about variance. The Kansas team, we don't know who's going to show up in half these games.
Literally,
yes.
we don't mean that. We don't mean
like the players that are playing
where
in the
they're going
game.
to play good. We mean literally, we have no idea which
Yes.
Kansas players will be at which games.
So that's a wrinkle.
And Auburn, we know that Auburn, when they lose, they're going to lose by like 40. And it's going to be ugly.
Yes.
Like when they actually flame out, they're going to go like 7 for 43 from the 3-point line, and it's going to be a disaster. It's just a matter of when.
Let's take Kansas.
You think it's going to happen then?
Well,
Okay.
I think it's one of those things where it's
you want to get over the Kansas hump, is what you want.
exactly.
North Carolina fan. All right, you want your shot at Kansas. All right, well, that's fine. All right, Ohio State,
Blue
Houston.
Bloods. I like your team.
I really do. I really, really like. If Ohio, first of all, I think Iowa State is actually going to beat Ohio State, and this is going to be a moot point.
Mm-hmm.
But if we do match up with Houston, I do feel good about that.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to win. I'm not saying I expect to win. I'm not like puffing my chest out and I'm saying, suck it, Houston fans, we're going to kick your ass. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying, as an Ohio State fan, if we play Houston as our 3 seed, I'm much more excited about that than playing Texas Tech. I'm much more. Well, LSU would have been great. Purdue kicks our ass. I didn't want to, we weren't going to play Purdue anyway. But yeah, so I actually do feel good about this, but I'm also obviously a homer. I don't know if you knew this. I played basketball at Ohio State. Yeah, there you go. There's my custom-made jersey I had. It cost me $700. So I want to recuse myself from this and let you make the pick because I don't want to be accused of. But I am very.
Well, I've been bought out by Coach Holtman and the Ohio State brand.
Are you doing it?
And I'm a big fan of Luther Muhammad. So, and I think he can D up Corey Davis, right?
Dude, he can do everything.
Let's do it. Oh, he can do it all. Ohio State. Let's move him on.
Luther can do it all, man. All right.
We're trying to go to Kansas City, so we're just
That's
trying
really
to make
what it is.
we're trying to make this happen. All right, so we got Wofford, Kentucky.
Kyle's coming with us. Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Kyle's right over there. Sure. Wofford, Kentucky. This is a game. This is the upset.
Dude, this is David Goliath. This is like Wofford is like we said. Wofford. If Wofford's not America's darling in this tournament, it's Belmont, but it's definitely Wofford. Wofford is the team that everyone they love. Fletcher McGee. The guy's name's Fletcher McGee for God's sakes. Like who doesn't love that? Kentucky is not. I don't know if you knew this. People generally do not like Kentucky.
We do here on this program. Big Blue Nation, we love you.
So this is an interesting matchup in that regard. Is like America watching this. I feel like this is going to do monster ratings when they play each other, and everyone on Twitter is going to be losing their minds, hoping Wofford wins, and Wofford will not win, and Kentucky will win. That's what I think. That's what I forecast in that game.
It's going to feel like when Davidson upset Georgetown that year with like Steph Curry. Like that's the only way it could happen, where Fletcher McGee literally goes unconscious and. That would mean that Fletcher McGee would have to be Stephen Curry,
we get the
McGee.
Steph game against Kansas where
he does go off,
where he goes off, but they lose.
Yeah,
but no one even remembers that they lost because it was just like
everyone's like, remember that Elite Eight game with Steph Curry?
Remember when Fletcher McGee beat Kentucky, and you're like, that actually didn't happen. It's like, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Who cares?
We're putting Kentucky through though. All right, so there it is. There's our Sweet 16. Do we need to stop and pause and think about it a little bit? What have we done? What do we got here? We have 1-4. 11-2. We have 1-4, 6-2. 1-5, 14-2, and 1-4, 11-2. So yeah,
we're doing all right.
We're doing all right. We got some upset picks and whatnot. All right, let's just keep chugging then. Why not? Duke Virginia Tech ACC game. They played each other without Zion Williamson, without Justin Robinson.
Yes. Will that be the difference? I think Trey Jones would be the difference in that game. If he can D up Justin Robinson and make it a problem. Alexander's been great for them. And, of course, Blackshear is their best player. Duke without Bolden will be interesting to see what they do on the inside. But, again, a man by the name of Zion Williamson is handling all of that stuff at the basket.
Here's a little note about Virginia Tech. Kerry Blackshear does not put his left heel on the ground. This is something that is the most fascinating thing in college basketball for me this year. I don't know if anyone else will find it interesting, so I just want to bring this up in case you have not been following Virginia Tech this year. Their best player when Justin Robinson was out is this. He's 6'10"?
Yeah.
He's tall.
6'10" sounds good.
He's taller than I am.
Yes.
He walks on his left foot. He walks on his toes. He just keeps his toe. He never puts his heel on the ground.
Balls of the feet, folks.
He's on the ball. It's only his left foot. His right foot will put his heel on the ground. And you think I'm joking, and you're saying like. There's no, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. If you catch yourself bored, I don't know why you would be, but if you're watching these games and you're like, I need something else. I need more of a fix. March Madness isn't doing it for me. I need something to get the juices going. Flip over to the Virginia Tech game and just watch Kerry Blackshear's left foot. There you go. That's it. That's my analysis.
Or watch Buzz Williams on the sideline because the man's gonna be sweating.
Duke is destined. This tournament is the Final Four is in Minneapolis. Duke always wins in Minneapolis or Indianapolis. If they ever have if they have a Final Four in Annapolis, they'll win it there. Put Duke through. We have Duke in the Elite Eight.
Yep.
All right, Belmont, Michigan State. I have to think about this one. Man.
I think this is exactly what we were just talking about down here. I think this is the game where Belmont maybe gets up early. Everyone's excited. It seems like a chance for them to make a real run. If Duke plays Belmont in the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four and play for a national championship, that is egregious. I mean, that is literally. I mean, that should not count. Like they should have to play another game. All right. NC State should have to play them to then go to the Final Four. So let's take Michigan State.
Let's do Michigan State
just for that sake.
All right, I'm cool with that. Gonzaga, Florida State.
Ooh, this is another tough draw for Gonzaga.
In the words of John Rothstein, quoting the late Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight circa 2008, my thoughts when I see this game, and here we go. This is
tough.
Remember when I said that Syracuse is the worst matchup for Gonzaga in this region? I lied. It was actually Florida State. I think I like Florida State to beat Gonzaga.
I feel like this is the perfect thing where we're going to get a rematch of last year's Elite Eight where we get Florida State, Michigan.
You think so?
Yeah.
That could happen.
That's exactly what's going to happen. I think Gonzaga. I think playing Syracuse.
Did Florida State beat Gonzaga last year? In the Sweet 16. In the West. What are you talking about rematches?
Yeah,
they already played each other.
That's right. Oh my God.
This whole region's a rematch.
Yeah,
they beat Gonzaga in the West at
so
Anaheim.
just play it back from last year. What we just talked about.
Just cut the feed and play the analysis we had last year.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing. Let's do it. Florida State wins, and then do you want to put Michigan?
Yeah, let's take Michigan.
Let's take Michigan.
Buffalo's that's as far as they can go, and then we'll take Michigan. Perfect.
Yeah, it'll just be a rematch. Just run the whole thing.
So look, now look how 2 ACC, 2 Big Ten. We're doing great. Let's get to the South. We got Virginia, Wisconsin. Again, Big Ten, ACC. These are the exact same teams pretty much as far as the way that they want to play. Wisconsin, I guess, I mean, they can't. Virginia's the slowest team in the country, but Wisconsin's going to try their damnedest to be the slowest team in the country.
Wisconsin's not beating Virginia.
Yeah, so let's take them.
Virginia's winning.
Cow guy, congratulations.
Old Dominion, Tennessee. Again, I know nothing about Old Dominion. I do know a lot about Tennessee.
This is where the run ends for ODU. It's been a
I know
great run.
a lot about Tennessee.
Yeah.
I really, really want Tennessee. I love the idea of Rick Barnes versus Tony Bennett to go to the Final Four.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Two
Rick
guys
Barnes
getting
has
over
been
the
to a
hump.
Final Four, so it's not like he's never been there, but it's been a while. He was fired from his last job. He's trying to get some redemption himself. Tony Bennett obviously has had some problems, we'll say, in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
That would be a fun matchup. So and not to mention they're the two best teams in the region, so that would be cool.
1 and
all
2.
right, North Carolina, Kansas.
I think Roy Williams, a man that has a Kansas acrylic painting in his house.
Wait,
somewhere.
what?
Yeah, did you see that yesterday? Like, where they always watch the the reveal show at his house, and like in the background, you can see there's a North Carolina one right here, and there's a Kansas one right here. So he's got his heart. His heart's divided as you know it continues to play out. But it's been a long time. You know what I mean? It's been since 2003. It's time to get over it. It's time not to cry when you're coaching against this team.
Hold on.
Yes, I will show it to you after the fact. People can look this
What?
up. In the video, North Carolina reveals their 1 seed. If you look in the background, there's a Kansas Jayhawk bird in the background on the window.
You know, as a man who can only understand sports through the lens of relationships with women, this feels a lot to me.
Like
Tate,
two-timing.
Like you're dating one girl, but you're also talking to your ex.
Yes.
I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, Brandon Davies would not approve of that. North Carolina, Kansas in this game. I think that North Carolina does get over the hump just because they are a more complete team.
Yeah, Kansas sucks, dude.
Yeah,
Kansas has
exactly.
sucked all year. Like
it's not even a real Kansas team that they're
Kansas
playing. If they play
fans-
the team from November,
You know how I know
it's
Kansas
different.
sucks is because I have said on the podcast I've written I guess I haven't really written much this year. I've said on the podcast that Kansas sucks 1,000
Someone
different times.
transcribed what you said,
Yes.
so they wrote that. Yes.
And at no point have I got pushback from Kansas fans. At no point were Kansas fans be like, I think you're being a little unfair. I think we're actually in a good spot here. I think we got the Kansas fans are like, the season's still going on. I gave up on it.
That's what I mean. It's a nice Sweet 16
They're
for
gonna
them.
lose.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Kentucky. I cannot.
In good faith. Yes.
Put the Buckeyes through. The only temptation I have to do it is that I know that we are going to tweet a picture of this bracket from the Ringer account, and a bunch of fucking nerds that did not watch a single second of this broadcast are just going to see this and tweet it at us and get really, really upset. And I would really, really love to troll those people. I would love to somehow make Ohio State play North Carolina in the title game just to piss those people off.
Yes.
Just change the graphic. But I'm a journalist, first and foremost. I have to be unbiased. And if Ohio State does play Kentucky in the Sweet 16, Kentucky's winning.
We were in Chicago. North Carolina played Kentucky. We were at that game. And when North Carolina lost, my mother looked at me and she said, we're going to play Kentucky in the NCAA tournament.
Luke
and
made revenge.
And we're going to get redemption. And here it is.
Wait, you're gonna get the redemption?
Absolutely.
Kentucky's not getting the redemption
it's
for the
same
Luke
calendar
May?
year, sure. I mean, if they want to do that long term, I mean, I don't know. Is Malik Monk and Bam Adebayo and De'Aaron Fox going to come out and play in the game? Maybe they'll get redemption. But North Carolina's going to play Kentucky. They played them in December, lost that game. Here's the perfect matchup. This is a great Elite Eight, by the way. I think
This is a great Elite
if it
Eight.
works out this way, I feel like everyone's going to be impressed. Other than Gonzaga, I don't want Gonzaga to be out.
Yeah. Well, I
happens.
genuinely, when I fill out my own bracket, my own personal one, I am genuinely going to have all 1s and 2s in the Elite Eight because I think the top 8 teams are better than everyone else by a significant margin. I'm cool with all the fun little upsets before we get there, but yeah, it's really hard for me to reach a point where I think that Michigan will lose to Buffalo or yeah, even Gonzaga losing to Florida State is kind of bold, but Florida State did just beat the hell out of Virginia. So anyway,
It takes courage to make these picks, guys.
this is our Elite Eight.
Oh, here it is.
How are we doing? So let's break this down. We have 4 ACC teams, not a surprise there, and 2 Big Ten teams and 2 SEC. That's fine.
Yeah, everyone.
That's
everyone's
good.
happy.
Who's going to be mad at that?
Probably Gardner-Webb.
We'll find out after we tweet this bracket. All right, Duke, Michigan State. It's Duke. It's always Duke. It's always been Duke. It always will be Duke. I don't know why we have to. How long have we been doing this? Where are we at? Like an hour now? Like, why are we still talking?
I have to say this for Michigan State. When Garrison Brooks guarded Zion Williamson, he's 6'9", Zion 6'6", he had a problem going against a traditional big man. Granted, he fouled out of the game. But Michigan State has 4 guys that they can rotate in and out. They got Goins, they got Tillman, and they got our boy Nick Ward. So if Nick Ward and those 3 guys are willing to take fouls on Zion, and Zion's the biggest guy in the game, and he's having to go against 6'9", 6'10", 6'11 guys, that, my friends, is going to be a problem, and that is why I personally believe that Tom Izzo in the inside game of the Michigan State Spartans and the fact that they can run with Duke will give them a really good chance to upset Duke.
Hold on. Go back. Delete the Duke. Hold on. I got to think about this.
Think about it. Let me
chew on this.
This is the Tom Izzo special. This is how you become Mr. March. This is when you knock out Zion, and you are Mr. March forever. This is the greatest thing that could ever happen.
Will the refs allow this? Will the NCAA allow this to happen? College basketball has been Zion Williamson and everything else. That's been it all season. It's Zion and then everything
Make the calls.
Will they allow Zion to not make the Final Four? That's the one. I will say this, in all seriousness, Duke is not a good basketball team. They are very talented. They are overwhelmingly talented. Zion.
They're a great roster.
So much better than any other player in this country, and that's why they win. But like, they aren't like good at basketball.
It's hard. It's hard to be 6'6" and be expected to then play with guys that are 6'9".
Their offense is not fluid. Their defense is not as great as it was.
They don't have Bolden.
They are not a great basketball team. They just are so freaking talented that they can get away with it.
Here's the telltale sign: if Vrankovic for Duke comes into the game against Michigan State, then they are worried.
Yeah, what was that? Vrankovic and Goldwire.
That means that we don't. That means we don't have the inside guys.
You guys lost to Vrankovic and Goldwire.
Yeah, because one guy's coming out there to be a pest, the other guy's coming out there to cheat and set legal screens.
All right, I got to think about this. Let's hold on. You're ready to call it.
I'm ready. I'm Izzo.
If I hold my finger up long enough, it's gonna pop up Michigan. Put Michigan State up there. We're not locking it in. I just want to see what it looks like. I just got to study this.
That looks good. That looks right.
Does that look right?
For a league that hasn't won a title since 2000, I mean, you would think that you would be pushing this to happen because this would be great for the Big Ten. This could finally validate the fact that you have the most teams in the tournament.
Oh my God. I did say it was, so hold on. I said this is 2015 all over again because we have the top 8 teams. In 2015, that was the situation where it was like all 8 are better than everyone else.
And did you not argue that Michigan State should be a 1 seed earlier? So this is a 1B getting over a 1A.
So when I said it was
2 seed.
When I said it was 2015, I thought that meant Duke was going to win the national championship.
But who should have won it?
Who also went to the
Wisconsin should have won it.
You know who went to the Final Four in 2015? Was Michigan State.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So this would still be 2015. Screw it.
Screw it. Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Florida State, Michigan. Oh boy, there's no way we're getting Michigan State Part 4. That can't possibly happen.
So let's just go ahead and let's make that so that's not possible.
You want to redo it? You want to pick Gonzaga? Or you mean go?
No. I want to pick
Florida
State.
Through?
Yeah. I want to put Leonard should have gone last year.
Okay, but hold on.
He didn't know the time in the game. Dana got him on that, so maybe this year he learns from his mistake from Michigan. And he gets in.
I offer this.
This is redemption.
I offer this trick every year. I'm just throwing it out there. We can do what we want. The next level move when you're filling out your bracket is you pick a team to lose one game, but then you pick them to win the next game that they're not even playing in. So like. Gonzaga loses to Florida State, but then they still make the Final Four.
They're in the Final Four.
So you can't get a perfect bracket, but then you can still get the points for calling Gonzaga the Final Four.
The committee watches Florida State play Michigan. They're like,
that feels like a good move here.
To be in. Let's get Gonzaga in.
I feel like Florida State would beat Gonzaga if they play a game, but I also want Gonzaga in the Final Four. Fuck. But there's no way we got the graphic ready for that. All right. Hold on. Let's see here.
I would be down to work our way.
State.
I would be down. I think. Let's go back. I think Gonzaga in.
Put Gonzaga over both. Because the reason we put Florida State over Gonzaga is we're trying to do you're doing that. Yeah, let's just stick with that.
That works.
Stick with that.
Works, yeah.
Just stick with
That's
that.
the best.
Stick with that.
Yeah.
Because
that makes sense. Because like Florida State would beat Gonzaga, but Gonzaga would never not be in the Final Four if those two teams play each other.
Thoughts and prayers to the social media team that are going to be getting blown up about how dumb our graphic is, and you guys got
Well, they'll
that
blame
game
it
wrong.
on. They're like someone messed up. They're like someone screwed this up. Like sure.
Yeah, it was Titus and Tate. They screwed it up.
Yeah, we screwed it up. That's for sure.
All right, Virginia, Tennessee. We were talking about this game a little earlier. We want Rick Barnes versus Tony Bennett. That would be fun. I have nothing else to say other than I believe in Virginia. I will always believe in Virginia. You have my whole heart, Virginia.
This is the game where, like, you have Jordan Bone, and then you have Ty Jerome, and then it's like, who is going to be the guard in this game that's really going to keep it together? And it's going to be Ty Jerome, a guy that knows how to make the right pass, a guy that knows where to be, plays good defense.
We should also mention this about Virginia. Virginia is more talented than I think the casual college basketball fan realizes. That if you think Virginia, you've known Virginia in the past, you're going to turn on Virginia and see a lot of white guys out there, and you're going to think that Virginia is basically like glorified Belmont. They are not. Ty Jerome is a first-round pick. DeAndre Hunter is a top 5 pick, possibly, certainly
probably.
top 10. And then Kyle Guy might be the best. Kyle Guy is the guy that wins all these awards, that gets All-Americans.
Kyle Guy is the Malcolm Brogdon pick, the number 36 pick. That's like, oh wow, he's like a great.
He's actually great.
Yeah.
So they are really talented. As I said, Virginia's been more consistent all season. I trust Virginia. I think this is the year it happens. And if it doesn't happen this year, definitely next year. Definitely, 100% next year.
And it's not a bad run for Tennessee, to get the Elite Eight.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
a
ups
great
and
run.
downs.
That's a great run. You almost won a trophy this year, Tennessee. You almost won the SEC regular season. You almost won the SEC tournament. You almost got the Final Four. That's a great year. It's a great year of almost. All right, there it is. The redemption. Depending on what your point of view is, this is redemption either way.
Calendar year.
Is this the Luke May redemption where Kentucky knocks Carolina out in the Elite Eight? Is it the Carolina redemption where you get revenge for the Chicago game?
No, but see, you got it wrong. Carolina got redemption on Brandon Knight in 2011 when he knocked Carolina out. So then Luke May got revenge on that game. So that was already, now we're even. Now we're starting again. And then North Carolina lost this year. So this is now going to be North Carolina, Kentucky.
What?
Exactly. It's already been handled. It's already been
null
and void.
Hold on.
So 2011, Brandon Knight knocks out North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
And then Luke May, then knocks out Kentucky, 2017. And now we're in 2019, and none of that matters because that's already 1-1. We're 1-1 there. So now we got North Carolina who lost earlier, so they got to get redemption. They just have to get redemption. It just makes sense.
Here's a question: does Roy Williams?
Can you beat a good team twice? That's the question. And can you beat a great team twice?
Does Roy Williams have a painting of Kentucky in his house?
No.
Some sort of horses or bourbon or.
Well, it's probably a picture of Luke May hitting the shot on Kentucky, so I guess they're technically in the house.
I think Carolina is. I'm on board with. I thought Duke, Virginia, Carolina, and Gonzaga were obviously the 4. I thought the 4 number 1 seeds were the 4 best teams. They deserve the 1 seeds. So I do think North Carolina is a better team than Kentucky, even though Kentucky beat them early in the season. I think Carolina's gotten better as the years progress.
It's better that they lost that first game. If they had won the first game, I would take Kentucky.
We can put Carolina through. I'm cool with that.
Here we are.
That Final Four feels all right. There's nothing wrong with that. That's 3 1 seeds and a 2 seed.
This is the best. This is a great Final Four. Everyone wants to watch this.
This would be a great Final Four. It really would be. I miss Duke though. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta miss Duke too. I'm like, damn, I wish Duke was in here.
I miss Duke.
Can we get Duke? Can we just take? That was like more for us. That was for us.
Oh, you're trying to put Duke.
But Duke.
And then put Ohio State as the national champion. And then just,
I do miss Duke. I think it's bad. Michigan State Gonzaga just sounds like a snooze fest, unfortunately.
Why? What's wrong with that?
I don't know. It's on this board. It does, not in reality.
I tried to tell you that Duke's going to win the title.
Well, I like the Maui game here when Duke comes back against Gonzaga, and then I like North Carolina who can never beat Virginia. They have to get over that hump, but maybe Virginia just owns North Carolina and then they move on. You know what I mean? I like that. Other than Michigan State Gonzaga, I don't really know what I can draw from there other than a lot of big guys on the inside.
Let's think about it this way.
Who's going to guard Tilly on the outside?
What would get us the most retweets?
Definitely.
I think if we put Duke,
let's put Duke in.
Put Duke in.
Let's put Duke in.
Put Duke. No. Put Duke to beat Michigan State.
Duke.
We don't want to.
We don't want to do it twice. It's nice. It's better down here.
We need just like a one little wink at the camera. You don't want to.
Nice.
Put them both on top of each other. We could do like.
That looks so much better.
You remember last year when Charles and Kenny had to fill out the bracket like live on the selection show, and they're drawing question marks.
Oh yeah.
Just like, we don't
Charles,
really know.
Charles had no idea who was in the tournament. He's like, who?
All right. So this Final Four feels better. It's all 1 seeds. How did that happen?
Man, the best of the best.
All right, this is my new strategy. Is what would get us the retweets. I think Duke over Carolina in the title game gets us the most.
I think North Carolina over Duke gets us the most.
Yeah, I think putting Duke over to Carolina, or if you put dude, are you prepared for people to shit on you if you put Carolina over Duke?
Well,
that is going to be that is the next 12 hours of your day. It's just basically like Tate's an asshole on Twitter. That's all you're going to get.
That's my life. I don't care. I will say this: Duke Gonzaga. I think that's the game where we get Hachimura versus Zion, and I think that everyone expects Duke to just beat Gonzaga again. And I don't.
Oh, they played already?
In Maui, yeah, it happened.
Did that happen?
I think I'm going to take Gonzaga in that game.
Again?
Yeah. I'm going to break my own rule. Because I don't think
Why?
Duke's a great team or really a good team, but then they have a great player.
That's not the question, if Duke's a great team.
Great players get you the Final Four. Great players can't. Well, I guess Carmelo did. Damn.
But the question isn't who's the better team. The question is who is going to win. And It's going to be Duke. There's not a world where Duke does not win this national championship. It's going to happen.
I feel like you think it's 2015, but it's really 2017. I think it's going to be Gonzaga, Carolina, and then I think Gonzaga beats Carolina.
Ooh, hold on. Let's put that up real quick. I just want to see what that looks like. Put Gonzaga over Carolina for the championship.
I think that's the redemption.
I think that. Hold on.
I think you're playing a redemption game. This is the redemption. This is the Gonzaga. We made our Final Four. We get it now, and we're going to play the team that we could have beaten, but they were already coming off redemption. So now,
whoa, go back.
That's good.
Go back.
I don't know.
Can we put Ohio State on there? I just want to see what it looks like. I just want to feel something. I just want the blood to rush down south just for like 5 seconds. Yes, yeah. Oh.
Can we put Gardner-Webb in there?
Oh. All right, that's cool.
This is what I like this. I like Gonzaga beating Carolina. Because Carolina beat Gonzaga earlier in the year and they shot out of their a-hole. So maybe this is the chance.
What about Gonzaga over Virginia? Or what about getting the Mark Few, Tony Bennett?
No one wants to watch that.
Are you shitting me? That's literally all I want to watch.
All right.
That's it. To watch both these teams. You got the two best coaches.
Then everybody wins. Then everybody wins. We don't want that. We want some pain. We want some people to come back next year for redemption.
Oh God, Carolina can't beat Virginia though.
I know that's the thing about this, but it's a redemption climb. Can't beat Kansas, beat Kansas. Can't beat Kentucky, beat Kentucky. Can't beat Virginia, beat Virginia. Can beat Gonzaga, lose. Yeah.
Okay, you've talked me into it. Let's do Gonzaga over Carolina in the title game.
So Gonzaga's the national champions.
Congratulations, Gonzaga. You lost to Florida State in the Sweet 16, but still won the national title. What a year!
Wow.
What a season! First team to ever do that. Do you want to guess a score? Do you want to add a score to it? A race to 69 in this game? It'll be, if they actually did play, it would be like 83 to 76.
I think Carolina scored 103 in the first game, so I'll say in this one.
Oh, they played each other?
I'm going to say 89-85 Gonzaga.
When they did play each other, though, I actually don't really care about the first time they played each other because Gonzaga was on the long end of like they stacked their non-conference schedule. They kind of had a gauntlet. Killy and Tilly got hurt, and they were just kind of exhausted. And I'm throwing that one out.
First time they lost back-to-back games in a long time.
Yeah, I'm cool with this. I think we got a good thing here. So that's it. That's our bracket. What else? What do we want to wrap with? What are our final thoughts?
Our final thoughts are that redemption is the key, unless it's not. That's pretty much what it is. And also, One Shotting Podcast, we're going to do a real podcast tomorrow.
We are doing podcasts tomorrow. We're doing one after every round. So Friday, Sunday, just basically every other day. There will be podcasts. If you are into this stuff, if you like it as much as we do, please join us. Please listen to us on the podcast. We will have some fun. Kyle will be. Will Kyle be on the podcast? We'll see. That's it. Thank you. You can also go buy a friend of the program OSP shirt. Proceeds are going to my foundation that I just started. Our website just went live, Tate. I'm giving away a scholarship. Not I. I keep saying I. It's we. I'm doing the RJ Barrett. I need to be Zion Williamson. We are giving away a scholarship at the 2020 Final Four to a walk-on, and you're thinking to yourself, how is that possible? I'm going to show you how it's possible. We are going to raise a ton of money. We are making the walk-ons apply and write why. It's a legitimate scholarship, so it's not like write the best fart joke and you get the scholarship. It's like, are you a good person?
Oh, so it's the Luke May walk-on.
Yeah.
So you have a full scholarship, but you're considered a walk-on because you look like one.
It's all legit. We are giving the scholarship to the walk-ons. I'm very excited to do this. We're gonna blow someone's mind. These walk-ons are like paying their own way for school, and then we're just gonna hand them a check for. I don't know how much the check's gonna be. It depends on how many shirts people buy. So go check that out. Go download the podcast. Tweet it at Tate Frazier if you have problems with the bracket. If you loved what we did here today, tweet at Club Trillion. That's it. We will see you guys on our podcast feed. Peace.
Congrats, guys.